Hey guys, what's happening? It's been a little bit since I have shared a training, so hope everyone is having a good day so far. I'm excited to close out to the end of the month, and yeah, it's gonna be here before we know it. Just a couple, literally like what, a day or so from here. But if you're watching this, it could already be possibly May. But I'm going to share a little bit with y'all today. This is actually going to be pretty short, sweet, to the point, but it's very imperative when it comes to knowing the basics of not only something with to do with your business, the basics of your business, but also it, in my opinion, is one of the most important things that you could you need to be consistent in. Basically, that's what I want to say. So today we're going to talk about the 5-step follow-up formula. So there's 5 steps. So make sure if you're catching this and you're watching the replay, which more likely you are, most of y'all are, make sure and pause this, grab a pen and paper, because you are going to want to write down these 5 key steps for follow-up. And when I say follow-up, it's really not difficult. However, it can feel tasky, especially if you are not consistent with it, and if you don't have a plan as far as how your follow-up is going to look. But the reason why I want to talk about the 5 steps today is really to give you a variety of ways that you can follow up with your customer and cater it to you and your business, depending upon what works for you. Maybe something you want to try out. You don't necessarily have to do all of these things, but I do recommend writing all 5 of them down. So then that way, maybe you could go step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at a time. And then from there, figure out, okay, this is what works for my customers. This I don't think I'm going to do anymore. But there's just not just one or the other. There's a wide variety of ways that we can follow up with our customers. Okay, so let's talk about step 1. So step 1, reach out with a thank you. Because it's important for us to build relationships with our customers and not necessarily focus on the sales. So, more importantly, we want to reach out with a thank you, right? So, this means when you know that your customer has either placed an order on their own, or if they have ordered from a party that you have going on, or perhaps if you have a group order that you placed, this is how we're going to reach out with a thank you. So we're going to start first and foremost with gratitude, because whether it's via text, voicemail, email, or a quick comment on social. So what does that mean? So in social media, for example, one thing that I did for quite a while, which was a lot of fun, is I would find that specific photo of the product that that person ordered on Facebook. I would search like a real life image of whatever it was that they ordered. If it's multiple items, I would just pick one. And I would find a real life image, and then I would post it either on my personal page or in my VIP group. And I would post that photo and I would tag their name and then thank them for their order. So that's one way that you could go about doing that. Otherwise, text message, that is as honestly as simple as it can get. Voice message, if you, it depends upon, again, your personal preference. I, on occasion, will send a voice message, especially because I do work a lot on my phone. So a lot of times I am just kind of tapped out, pun intended, when it comes to texting and honestly just, clicking away on the keyboard. Voice message is like quick to the point, especially because if you're one like myself where I get super excited every time I check my email and I see, oh, I have a new PWS order. Woo! I want to party. I want to celebrate. I'm so excited. That person has made my day, especially y'all when I don't even expect it. To me, those are even the more exciting ones, is when I don't see it coming. And it's out, it's unplanned. I don't even know about it. And a voice message, your excitement can translate through a voice message more than a text message. I feel like, my generation, the millennial generation, we love using emojis. I feel like I cannot get my personality or my vibe or, my excitement or whatever the case may be through without an emoji. Or if you know me, I love a Bitmoji. I don't know what I would do, honestly, if either of those went away, because that is just how I specifically express myself. So let's go back. So we're talking follow up with texting, voice message. You can send an email. We recently went the previous recording that we did recently that's on this page. In fact, I did go over the very specific detail of how you can send an email to a customer through your Scentsy workstation. You can also do it through the Scentsy Connect app. In fact, we're going to talk a little bit later on through this training today about the Scentsy Connect app. So if you haven't already downloaded that, I highly recommend it. Go to wherever you go to download apps on your phone, type in Scentsy Connect. It's basically your workstation username. So whenever you join Scentsy, it's not say username, I'm sorry. It's your number that you were given as a Scentsy consultant. So your consultant ID, basically your number, and then the password that you created. That's the exact information that you're going to need for Scentsy Connect. Everything for the most part that we're covering on this training today, a lot of that can be done through Scentsy Connect. Now, for whatever reason, you don't want to use Scentsy Connect and maybe you have a different follow-up way with your customers, I at least recommend looking around your workstation and playing around with a couple things on there if you're not as familiar with it, or maybe if you're a newer consultant. Okay, so let's go back. Thanking your customer personally for their purchase is so important, you guys. So important. Think about the last couple of things that you purchased, whether it was through somewhere online, whether it was maybe through another person's business, maybe you're friends with somebody that sells from another MLM type company. Think about what about are the ones that we order from and we support, or we just order from online and we don't hear back. We don't hear anything from them, right? Especially if it's like from a bigger company. Like if I'm ordering from Amazon, or if I'm ordering, what else? Chewy. We get our dogs and our cat stuff through Chewy. We have a Chewy auto ship. You think that they're texting or they're emailing me every time I place an order and they're like, thank you so much for your business, we really appreciate you? No, I'm not getting that. Am I still ordering from them? Of course I am. Let's be honest. But I don't get an automatic thank you, or a thank you even in the long run. It makes me feel so excited for the friends that I support, and they follow up with me at some point, no matter, what that looks like. At some point, they follow up with me and they're thanking me for their order. That means a lot to me. So I guarantee you that when you follow up with your customer and you're thanking them, however that looks like for you, for their order, that's going to mean the world to them. Thank yous are free, you guys. Don't worry about the fluff. Don't worry about sending them happy mail if it's not in your budget. A news flash for my team that's watching this video. If you've been around for a while with Team Faith and Soul, I don't even send happy mail anymore. The only mail that I'm sending out is for my clubbers, my Scentsy subscribers with club. But when it comes to all other orders, they're getting I created a little thank you card on Canva. You honestly don't even have to do that, you guys. Just a simple text. As soon as you check your email, if you have Scentsy Connect and you see it on there that someone placed an order, or they outright tell you, which is awesome, by the way, if your customer tells you that they placed an order, I don't care what it looks like, but just follow up with them. If you can't follow up with them in that window, set a alarm. I have set an alarm for everything, y'all. Set your alarm and say, follow up with whoever, thank them for their order. I mean, me personally, I do it as soon as I see it. I usually, granted, I'm not gonna, if they just place an order, I'm probably not gonna thank them right after that. But I'll give them maybe about 5-10 minutes, especially if if I'm not doing anything in the moment that otherwise needs my attention. I'm gonna turn right around and thank them for that order because I don't want to forget. But newsflash, if you have the Scentsy Connect app, I don't know if you knew this or not, but Scentsy Connect, y'all, anytime somebody places an order with you, or anytime you place a group order, that is automatically going to come up in your connections tab with Scentsy Connect. So what that means is when you click on connections, that's a mouthful, it's going to have a line that basically talks about your customers that place an order. And Scentsy's asking us to follow up with those people because they place an order. And what's so cool is I don't know about y'all, but I get a dopamine hit. I get excited for any time I have like a checklist of some sort and I get to just check it or mark it out. So that's what Scentsy has, is that for every person that places an order with you, it'll be under connections on the Scentsy Connect app. You'll click the box that says that you followed up with them. Done. Moved on. You're good to go. Out of sight, out of mind. But no matter how you do follow up, no matter how you're thanking your customer for their order, you want to make it warm and you want to make it specific. You don't want to copy and paste to multiple customers. Make sure and tweak it just a smidge. making it more personal to them. It could be that you're including maybe their name in the thank you message. It could be that, for me personally, I like to go to the order history and I want to see specifically what they ordered if I don't already know. And I'll include one of those things in the text so it makes it more personal. So, for example, let's just say my customer Sarah placed an order for 3 room sprays, and one of the room sprays is, let's just say, Sunkist Citrus. Okay, I'm going to send more likely a text to Sarah, and I'm going to say, hey Sarah, thank you so much for your order. I'm so excited for you. Absolutely love Sunkist Citrus. Room spray is so great. Period. Like, that's it. You don't have to add any fluff. You don't have to make it extra. Just to the point, add a detail. It's personal enough. Send. It means the world to your customer when you thank them for their support, because it means to your customer that they're not just another number. You want to make sure that, especially when you are building your Scentsy business and you're just getting into it, whether you're coming in and you're rejoining and reinstating your account, or if it's that you've been around for a while and maybe you're out of pocket as far as, man, it's been a while since I've even talk to my customers, or follow it up with them, or thank them for their order, or oh my gosh, they ordered from me last month and 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and I can't remember the last time I followed up with my customers. Start today. No one is expecting you to be perfect. I guarantee you, just as much as I'm a hot mess, my customers are a hot mess. They're having bad days, I'm having bad days. Y'all, it happens. They're not, I guarantee you, even if it's like 2-3 months ago and somebody placed orders with you and you're like, oh my God, I've never even asked if their warmer is doing okay or how they like those wax bars. Do it now. Do it today, because I guarantee you, if you haven't spoken to those specific customers in that time frame, they're not going to get mad at you. Now, I will say, first and foremost, to prepare you, that it could be perhaps that they don't maybe answer you back at all. But I don't want you to get discouraged in that. I want you to know that I did my job. I followed up. That's the whole point of this training video, is the follow up. It's not, oh, how did they respond? Did they get back with you? What did they say? Are they going to order again? Did they like their product? No. The point to this is that you followed up with them. You sent the message. Bless and release it. Move on. Check. I did what I did. That was my part of the job for the day. And move on from that. Move on from that. Because you should feel proud in the fact that you are getting more consistent. You are showing up for yourself, and you are in this pocket of building this community with your customers that you are getting to them to like, know, and trust you. Don't stay so focused on the fact that they're not following up with you. Because think about it. Like, think about a day that you have that you're just so busy that you don't know up from down, left from right. You're pulling your hair out. You want to have a hard cry. You're just like, today's been so insane. I just can't wait for it to be over with. Guarantee your customer is having just the same day, if not close enough. We don't know what our customers are going through. We don't know how their day is going. I can't even tell you how many times that I've had customers that I've reached out to them and they feel so bad because they have started texting me back, or they're going to send me a voice message back, whatever it looks like. And they want to show their appreciation for my follow-up, and they forget. They'll start texting it, the message is there, but they forget to send it. Or they're like, oh, I'm going to respond back. And then also the thing is too, is that I've heard from my own customers that in the long run, they're like, thank you for being authentic, or thank you for your follow-up, or thank you for always seeing how I'm doing. And some of those customers, y'all, I never even hear anything from, other than when they want to order. Those customers don't always respond to me, and that's okay, because like I said, at the end of the day, I followed up with them. I sent the email. I sent the text message. Done. Step 2, check in about their experience. So give or take about 5 to 7 days after they received their purchase, I want you to follow up and ask them how they're enjoying their purchase. I want you to make it about them, not about the next sale. Okay? Because again, we're wanting to build trust with our customers. We don't want to make anybody feel that they are just a number. So how you can build that trust and how you can gain their interest in the long run is expressing interest in what they've ordered. Whether maybe you're a fan of the same scent, like I said earlier, or the example that I used earlier, or it could be maybe that you haven't seen, they purchased a warmer and you haven't seen that warmer set up in person. Follow up with them and just say, hey, we'll use Sarah again. Hey, Sarah, you ordered this incredible warmer. It is so beautiful. I haven't seen it in person yet. Can you send me a photo when you get it set up? I cannot. I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to see it. Or they could send it to you. They cannot send it to you. But again, you're creating that, you're building that connection, you're building that relationship with them, and you're expressing interest. You're getting excited about what they purchased. And a lot of times, especially like if repetition is kicking in and you're doing this and you're doing it over and over and over with your customers, after a while, they are going to share those photos with you. Okay. You can even take it a step further and ask them to post a photo of their product, whatever they purchased, whether it's the box that just arrived, whether they've set it up. Ask them to post a picture on their social media account and tag you, or even put it in the stories. It's the coolest thing ever. A lot of times, one of my customers will text me back and they'll say anything. Like, they're like, oh, I love the scent, or, I'm so sorry. Ooh, that's what happens when I talk too fast. And y'all forgive me. I just came back from therapy for an hour. So your girl was talking during that, and then here we are. So sorry about that. Okay, so where was I? But we were talking about like your customer and sharing photos and talking about you're following up with them, right? And they're telling you about how much they love the product and they love their order. You can actually then ask them, hey, by the way, would you mind if I took a screenshot of this conversation here? I would love to use it as a testimony or a review on my Facebook page, on my Instagram page, and share it to your stories. I've actually started doing that recently myself. I have not gone to the habit of that over the last couple of years being in business with Scentsy. I have not done that. That is actually something that I am trying to be more due diligent on, because people are watching you through your stories, and that is so cool to be able to show them your reviews and testimonies, of not only what a great consultant you are, but again, the fact that you're following up. Let's see. So step 3, offer support or suggestions. Be a consultant, not a salesperson. There is a difference. Offer to help if they have questions, need scent suggestions, or maybe perhaps if they want to explore other products that might pair well with what they've already purchased. You want to be like their scent guide. You don't want to be, again, you don't want to make them feel just like another number. That you're like, hey, are you ready to order again? Oh, hey, thank you so much for your order. And then maybe like a day or two later, be like, hey, I'm putting a group order in. Do you need anything? Please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. There are ways around that, especially, let's just say, if a customer, a lot of times, well, two things. A lot of times, like if your customer just received their Scentsy order, not all the time, sometimes, I should say sometimes. Once they receive their order, there's a window within I would say like a 24, 48 hour window, that once you follow up with them in that window, a lot of times, especially if it's they order something that's a little bit newer to them, they're super excited about it, and you never know, they might actually order a second time. Otherwise, there are other ways that you can follow up with them and keep it super simple and not so salesy. So like, for example, if you're wanting to follow up with your customer, and let's just say that it's been maybe a couple weeks, like a month since they ordered, you can send a text message to them or a voice message and just say, hey, I'm putting a group order in this week. Do you need a fill up on your wax? Whatever you want to say. Do you need a fill up on your wax? Are you running low on your cleanups? Are you running low on your clean products? Whatever it is that they've ordered within, I would say, the last month or two, see if by that time they're going to more likely need a refill. Just follow up with them. You can still keep it very casual, but intentional at the same time. I love utilizing ChatGPT for this. I talk a lot about ChatGPT. If you feel like you are stuck as far as, man, I don't want to say the right, or I'm sorry, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to say not enough. I don't want to say too much. If you're like that, because trust me, I'm just like that, utilize ChatGPT. Go to ChatGPT and ask it, Give me a reply for my customer who just placed an order. The more details that you include in the question that you're giving ChatGPT or whatever AI services that you're using, the better off, information that it'll give you back in return. All right, so step 4. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Rewind. I didn't finish step 3. So suggestions or want to explore the products that might pair well. But an example of that, again, that conversations you can have is if you ever need a cozy nighttime scent or something fresh for your kitchen, I'd love to share some of my go-tos. So again, you're not pushing a sale. You're not asking them to place an order. You're just simply saying, hey, I'm just checking in. If you ever need anything else, not saying, do you need something? Do you want it now? Do you need something now? That's like a sense of urgency. You don't always want to do that. Okay. But instead you can say in the meantime, if you ever need, or if you would like some more suggestions, I would love to share with you my favorites, or I would love to share with you my go-tos. That's creating not only more conversation that you can have with your customer and you're getting to know them a little bit more, but in return, they're getting to know you as well. Again, you're building that relationship. You're building that trust. Step 4, ask for a quick review or post. I talked about that earlier. By far, that's one of my most favorite things to ask of my customers. So I personally have a Google business page. That obviously is an entirely different training. I believe there are a couple YouTube videos, one specifically that I've actually watched myself. It does not take a lot of time really to set up a Google business page. I highly encourage it. Like I said, it's a whole nother training for another day. I'm just going to say I really encourage it. It's great. It's a great tool to have in your pocket. But when you're asking for a review, the reason why I brought that up is because if you have a Google business page, I maybe once a quarter will text my customers, especially my regular customers. I'll text them and I'll say, hey, thank you so much for your support over, the last couple months. It means the world to me. If you didn't know this, I have a Google business, I don't say that's a mouthful. I have a Google page. I'd love for, an honest review. It would mean the world to me. Not everyone does it, but I try to at least once a quarter ask my customers to do so, because think about it. When you're going to Google, for example, and you're looking up like a restaurant, or maybe you're searching for, I don't know, some business that you need, in the area, something that you need in the area. More than likely, like I know myself, I'm going to the reviews and I want to see how long have they been in business for. Are they still keeping up to date, honestly, with their Google page? Does it look fresh? Is it getting the point across? Is it letting me know the information that I need? And also with the reviews, what are people saying in the reviews overall? But you can ask for a quick review or post. Once they shared what they love, once they've shared that they love the product, kindly ask for a small favor. So, for example, you could say, if it's not too much trouble, I would love it if you could post a review on your page, or I would love it once you set your product up, if you can post it to your page or post it to your stories. You know your customers. You should be following them on social media. And if you are, and hopefully you are, you'll know, do they post more to their stories or do they post and share more to their page? That's going to tell you the direction where to go in, as far as asking them like, hey, I would love it so much. Once you set your warmer up, can you post a photo of it to your stories? Or if your customer, you hardly ever see them share anything to stories, don't ask them to post in their stories, because that's going to make them feel pressured and complicated. But just be like, hey, can you post a photo of this on your page? Or can you share, if you don't mind, real quick, when you get a chance, can you share a photo of this in my VIP group? I would love it if you could share one. Everyone would love to see that warmer. It's going to look so great. Another example. Would you be willing to post a quick pic or review on their timeline, so on their page, and then tag you as well? The tag is so important. On a side note, this is really not as important, but there is one thing that I like to do, is I like to reward my customers for doing things that's not expected of them. So for example, if my customer does leave a review for me, no matter where that's at, no matter what that looks like, or even referral, I want to reward that behavior because I want it repeated. So what I usually do is when I have like rewards for my own personal party link, I like to snag the scent circles and I will mail them a scent circle. Now, if that's not in your budget, if getting the stamp, putting in the envelope, if that is either you're like, I just don't know if I have time for that. Again, texting is, I mean, it's obviously not free. I get that. We have phone plans, I get that. But in our business, texting is so simple. It's to the point. It's not going to take up a lot of time. Thank them for the review, no matter what that looks like. But you don't have to, in other words, you don't have to break the bank to thank somebody for whatever it is that they're helping you with their business. Because my opinion is that if they didn't already like respect you and didn't have that relationship and like and trust you, they're more likely not going to leave a review for you if that wasn't the case. You want to encourage them to get a snap a pic of their warmer in action or their favorite scent or even their pet near a warmer. Pet, child, grandchild, niece, nephew, spouse, you name it. Get somebody else in the photo other than them or encourage them to take a photo with their product. Odds are when people are scrolling through social media, no matter what platform they're on, if they see somebody with a product, it's more relatable, it's more personable, it's eye-catching, it's going to stand a lot more than looking at a bunch of flyers, looking at a lot of images and scrolling through and scrolling, because a lot of the things after a while they do appear to be the same thing over and over, very repetitive. Let's see. But bringing somebody else in the photo is definitely going to be more of an attention grabber as well. It's also something that you can do in your VIP groups, or even your personal page. You can do a post at any point during the week and make it fun and interactive and say, I love my customers, post a photo below of your favorite fragrance. Or, take a photo of you and your favorite wax bar. It's selfie Saturday, selfie Sunday. Y'all know I love a good theme. Do something along those lines where you're encouraging your customers to interact and share their product or if, I don't know, like I love Scentsy Buddies. So if you love Scentsy Buddies too, same thing. You could say, hey, show me your Scentsy Buddies. I want to see who has the most. Or show me your wax stash. I want to see who has the most. Anything like that, right? Because you're creating that excitement with your customers. You're setting yourself apart, right? You're going to look a little bit different than other consultants. It's going to come across as being a little bit more, not only authentic, but unique as well. It's going to set you apart. Step 5. Here we go. Very end. Step 5. Stay present, not pushy. That honestly should be like number 1, because that is the most important thing, is that you want to be present. You don't want to be pushy. When you're gaining the trust with your customers and you're not only guiding them in the right direction as far as what fragrances they're more likely going to like, you're not going to suggest things that otherwise they're like, oh, I hate floral. So in other words, you're not going to suggest a floral scent to them, right? If they're like, oh, I love fruity smells, oh, I love citrus smells, you're going to point them in the direction of the citrus and the fruity. Hopefully at some point you've smelled some of your testers, you've smelled current wax at some point, hopefully over the last couple months, and you have an idea of what at least one of the fragrances smell like. So then that way you can give your opinion, you can guide them and let them know like, hey, you can trust me. I got you. And you're building that relationship with your customer. Over time, you're going to know them well enough to be able to guide them in the right direction. To be like, like for example, again, if you have a customer and they're like, for my customer would be like, hey, Megan, I really want a new warmer for my bedroom, but I don't really want to have like a bright light. What does that mean? That means that I'm going to guide them in the direction of, more likely, if they're set on a warmer, an element warmer. It means that I'm going to find one that has minimal exposure to the light. It means that even perhaps I could possibly, and more likely, will talk to them about like, hey, I know you love our Scentsy warmers, but have you tried the pod products out yet? And I'm probably going to share a photo of the Air Quad, right? Or the air purifier. But again, just building that trust and that relationship with your customer, getting to know them, especially if they're new. You know, if you have a customer that's like, okay, I'm excited to order, but I just don't know where to start. Or, you know, like I have a customer recently and she just bought a new home. She's like, I really am so excited to fill Scentsy in with my home. I had her take pictures, no joke. I had her take pictures of the rooms that she was wanting to at least start with to put fragrance in. I was telling her, in my opinion, the most important rooms are the most high trafficked areas. To me, that's going to be the front door, and that's going to be either the living room or the bedroom. And we'll start there. And I had her take pictures, and I said, hey, send me pictures. Because I wanted to see what her setup was like. How was the house built? What were the color choices in her house? What kind of furniture did she have? Did she have plug-ins in her house? Like, there are factors that are so important that you want to know the details. You want to get to know them. And the more that you ask and the more that you get to know your customer, and the more time you take to build that relationship with them, they're going to trust you. And before you know it, there's a whole wide world of fragrance in our catalog that goes way beyond warmers and wax. And if they trust you, they're going to trust you for you to take them on that journey of trying new products. So when it comes to, again, building that relationship, you're building that trust. You can build and keep the relationship alive, again, without overwhelming them. You can sprinkle in occasional value, not just sales pitches, right? So basically what that means is you can share, how do I want to say that? Okay, so like for example, we have curated bundles on our Scentsy website right now. Your Scentsy website, you have curated themed bundles for the month. You could share a photo out of that bundle, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's to multiple customers, and let them know, like, hey, did you know that we offer incredible bundle deals? This is how much you'll save. That's your way of letting them know how there is a value of bundling the wax, and you're not just saying, hey, want to place an order? This bundle is X amount of dollars. No, you're letting them know the why. Why should they consider purchasing that bundle? Not telling them they need to order. There's a difference. Let them know, of course. Let your customers always know that you are around for questions if they ever were to come up, or you also will keep them in the loop for new product sneak peeks. So one thing that's so important whenever just so you know, when your customer places an order, like I was saying this earlier, once your customer places an order, I can't remember like the time frame. I know it's not that long. I feel like it's maybe within like an hour, if less than that. Their order will appear in the Scentsy Connect app. What's really cool is that without you honestly even having to check your email, Scentsy will alert you. Typically, if you have the Scentsy Connect app, you'll get a little icon at the top of your phone that alerts you that you have an update on the Scentsy app. And then you can go there and it's going to tell you that your customer placed an order. And that's how you can thank them for their order. One really nice thing too is once you start establishing your customer base and you start having like a contact list and you're building your contact list, when you have a customer that places an order for the first time, you definitely want to not only thank them for their order, but typically I'll wait until their order is delivered. When their order is delivered, I will follow up with them and I will ask them, hey, I saw your order was delivered such a day. Just want to see if everything made it okay. I wait for them to respond. If and only if they respond is when I ask them and I say, hey, I would love, this is what I personally say, I would love to add you to my email list. Is it okay if I add you? Or is it okay if I add you to my email list? And if they say yes, get their email. And then we talked about it before. You're going to go to, you can do it. There's two ways you can go about it. I believe you can go through the Scentsy Connect app again, and you can create a profile for them. Or if you want to go the other way, is through your workstation. Same thing, workstation, you're going to go to connections or contacts. I'm sorry, you're going to go to contacts, and then you'll create a new contact profile for that customer. And you just let them know, oh, hey, by the way, I'm just going to keep you in the loop for new product sneak peeks. Now, for me personally, I used to ask my new customers if I could add them to my text club. I said, hey, I have a text club. I'd love to be able to include you in that. It was this whole thing. Honestly, at this point, I still text those that once opted into that. So that there, at this point, there's not as many. And the only reason I say that is because the majority of my customers, I've actually moved into email. So then that way I'm able to, because for me, I feel at this point, where we're at, like current times right now, is that email is less invasive. Text is a little bit more personal. So my regulars that have been with me for 2+ years, they're getting text messages from me. I would say 2 per week at most, no more than that. But everyone else from that point, I would say well within probably like a year, maybe year and a half ago, everyone at that point started getting added to my email list. And that's for the most part how I reach out to them, not thanking them for their order, but that's how I reach out to them to let them know about new releases, sneak peeks, specials, warehouse sales, things like that. Let's see. Again, asking them if you can add them to your email list is less invasive. I don't really know what it is, but there's something about like asking if you can send them text where it's just like too much clutter to them. But I feel like it's mostly because when you send a text to them, it's like right in front of their face, versus email is like an active choice to get into the email and then look through that. I feel like that's possibly where their headspace is at when going about either of those things. Mention, sorry, that's not what I want to say. So there are, again, I just want to reiterate and go full circle and talk about one more time and reminding y'all how there are different ways that you can follow up. Some people respond better to one more than the other. So follow up could be text. Again, it could be others could do, you could do a quick voice message with them. Again, going back to, do you know your customer? Do you know their lifestyle? Do you know if they are busy on the go? Do they work full time? Are they on the road a lot traveling for work? Do they work from home? Do they take care of their kids at home? Are they the main provider? It's important to know these things. You don't have to know it all at once, but adding them on social media, you'll get that big time. You'll get a lot of that. But also, interacting with their stories, interacting with their posts, getting to know them a little bit at a time is going to help you, because it's going to give you a better understanding of what is the best way to follow up and contact them. And it's more likely not going to be the same for everybody. But again, you've got quick voice message. You could email. Like I specifically, right off the top of my head, I have about 3 customers of mine that are now regulars that they contact me through email. I don't mind. It seems, I'm assuming, I know at least two of the 3 of them work at a computer for their full-time job. So it makes sense to me, because they're not supposed to be on their phone, technically, right? So it makes sense to me that they're communicating with me through email, because they already have all of this up right on their computer screen, and that makes it easier for them to talk back and forth to me and place an order, or for me to follow up with them about their order. It can honestly even be something that you ask them. If you have a new customer and they've ordered, at least I would say maybe twice from you, at least one order, if not twice, or if not, at least one order, if not 2, that sounds better. Asking them, what their preference is, if you want to do that too. You can be like, hey, I just wanted to see, what's the best way to contact you? Do you prefer email, text? Just say that. Do you prefer email or text? There's so many ways that you can go about, honestly, asking that. Those that you see often. So for example, like, let me think. So like my therapist, who else? My barber, who's somebody else? Oh, my parents. Those people I see on at least a weekly basis, if not like every couple weeks, or, heck, at least once or twice a month. So the people that you see that are your customers that you see on a regular basis or a couple times a month or once a month even, those are the ones that you really want to thank them for their order if you can in person, if it's possible. Again, it's hitting a whole other level, honestly, of being more intentional and authentic and building, that trust and creating that relationship. In-person follow-ups are honestly, to me, like the golden ticket, because when just kind of like a voice message, they can hear the excitement in your voice. Think about like how much they're going to see the excitement when they talk to you in person. Um, Especially this could be even perhaps like if you do deliveries, if you have group orders, or if you have orders that are coming in from a party and you're delivering them to the customer or the host. That is a very quick, simple way that you can thank them as well. But you want to be intentional. You don't necessarily want to lead with, well, what do you want next? What do you want to order next? What's new? What do you want to order now? Instead, you want to lead with, how is it going with what you've already got? Especially even if it's been a while since you've talked to your customers. Ask them. One thing that you can do too is use a follow-up tracker. So that's a little bit of like a bonus tip. It's going to look different for everybody. Again, I personally have started using and utilizing more the Scentsy Connect app. It's free to use, so I'm going to use it. On occasion, I'm a pen and paper person as well. So you can always go to Canva, you can go to Google, and search, free calendar. Type in the month, or you can say, free calendar for the year. Print it off. You can do a notebook. I know a lot of consultants still do. I've even done that before myself, where you have like a notebook and pen, and you're just writing their names down and maybe the date when they ordered, and you're checking it off as you go, as soon as you follow up with them. Maybe even making notes in the margin of what they said or what they thought about the product, things of that nature. But if you're going to do a follow-up tracker, make sure and create it to where it's printable. I recommend that as well. I personally like having at least 2 different ways that I'm tracking my customers and how I'm following up with them. So the bottom line is so important, you guys, is to keep it consistent and don't overwhelm them. That is the most important part. Hopefully, one of these 5 steps you're going to try. If you've done any of these before, or if you feel like you're going to maybe try something out that you haven't done in a while, or if you haven't done it all, one of these 5, please, one thing that you can really help me out is leave a comment below on this training. It honestly is great because it helps more people see this video, for one, but 2, it lets me know feedback as far as if this training, helped you in any way, or again, if this is something you're going to try, or maybe maybe you have another suggestion of follow-up that you do that I didn't mention. But if you liked what you heard and you loved hanging out with me, give me a thumbs up on this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope y'all have an incredible day. Till next week. Bye, y'all.